Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video I'm going to narrate chapter 6. Chapter 6, My Childhood. Before you read, can you think of any scientists who have also been statesmen? APJ Abdul Kalam was whose projects in space, defense and nuclear technology guided India into 21st century became our 11th president in 2002. In his autobiography, Wings of Fire, he speaks of his childhood. First, I was born into a middle class Tamil family in the island town of Rameswaram in the earliest Madras state. My father, Janul Dobin, Janul Dabin, had neither much formal education nor much wealth. Despite these disadvantages, he possessed great innate wisdom and a true generosity of spirit. He had an ideal helpmate in my mother, Asiyamma. I do not recall the exact number of people she fed every day, but I am quite certain that far more outsiders ate with us than all the members of our own family put together. Second, I was one of many children, a short boy with rather undistinguished looks, born to tall and handsome parents. We lived in our ancestral house, which was built in the middle of the 19th century. It was a fairly large pucca house made of limestone and brick on Mosaic Street in Rameswaram. My austere father used to avoid all inessential comforts and luxuries. However, all necessities were provided for in terms of food, medicine, or clothes. In fact, I would say mine was a very secure childhood, both materially and emotionally. Third, the Second World War broke out in 1939, and I even was 8 years old. For reasons I have never been able to understand, a sudden demand for tarmint seeds erupted in the market. I used to collect the seeds and sell them to provision shop on Moscow Street. A day's collection would fetch me princely sum of 1 anna. My brother-in-law Jalaluddin would tell me stories about the war which I would later attempt to trace in the headlines in Dinamani. Our area, being isolated, was completely unaffected by the war, but soon India was forced to join the Allied forces and something like a state of emergency was declared. The first causality came in the form of suspension of the train halt at Rameswaram station. The newspapers now had to be bundled and thrown out from the moving train on the Rameswaram road between Rameswaram and Dhanuskoti. That forced my cousin Samsuddin, who distributed newspapers in Rameswaram, to look for a helping hand to catch the bundles, and as if naturally, I filled the slot. Samsuddin helped me earn my first wages. Half a century later, I can still feel the surge of pride in earning my own money for the first time. Fourth, every child is born with some inherited characteristics into a specific socio-economic and emotional environment and trained in certain ways by figures of authority. I inherited honesty and self-discipline from my father. From my mother, I inherited faith in goodness and deep kindness, and so did my three brothers and sister. I had three close friends in my childhood: Ramanada Sastri, Arvindam, and Shiva Prakasan. All these boys were from Orthodox Hindu Brahmin family. As children, none of us ever felt any difference amongst ourselves because of our religious differences and upbringing. In fact, Ramananda Sastri was the son of Bakshi Lakshmana Sastri, the high priest of the Rameswaram temple. Later, he took over the priesthood of Rameswaram temple from his father. Arvindam went into the business of arranging transport for visiting pilgrims, and Siva Prakasan became a catering contractor for the Southern Railways. Fifth, during the annual Sri Sita Rama Kalyanam ceremony, our family used to arrange boats with a special platform for carrying idols of the Lord from the temple to the marriage site, situated in the middle of the pond called Rama Tirtha, which was near our house. Events from the Ramayana and from the life of the Prophet were bedtime stories my mother and grandmother would tell the children in our family. Sixth, one day I was in 5th standard at the Rameswaram Elementary School, and new teacher came into our class. I used to wear a cap which marked me as a Muslim, and I always sat in front row next to Ramananda Sastri, who wore the sacred thread. The new teacher could not stomach a Hindu priest's son sitting with a Muslim boy. In accordance with our school social ranking, as the new teacher saw it, I was asked to go and sit on the backbench. I felt very sad and saw the Ramananda Sastri. He looked utterly downcast as I shifted to my seat in the last row. The image of him weeping when I shifted to last row left a lasting impression on me. 7. After school, we went home and told our respective parents about the incident. Lakshmana Sastri summoned the teacher and, in our presence, told the teacher that he should not spread the poison of social inequality and communal intolerance in the minds of innocent children. He bluntly asked the teacher to either apologize or quit the school and the island. Not only did the teacher regret his behavior, but the strong sense of conviction Lakshmana Sastri conveyed ultimately reformed this young teacher. 8. On the whole, the small society of Rameswaram was very rigid in terms of segregation of different social groups. However, my science teacher Siva Subramanya Iyer, though an orthodox Brahmin with very conservative wife, was something of a rebel. He did his best to break social barriers so that people from varying backgrounds could mingle easily. He used to spend hours with me and would say, Kalam, I want you to develop so you are on par with highly educated people of big cities. 9th. One day he invited me to his home for a meal. His wife was horrified at the idea of a Muslim boy being invited to dine in her ritually pure kitchen. She refused to serve me in her kitchen. Siva Subramanya Iyer was not perturbed, nor did he get angry with his wife, but he instead served me with his own hand and sat down beside me to eat his meal. His wife watched us from behind the kitchen door. I wondered whether she had ordered any difference in the way I ate rice. She had observed any difference in the way I ate rice, drank water, and cleaned the floor after the meal. When I was leaving his house, Siva Subramanya Iyer invited me to join him for dinner again in the next weekend. Observing my hesitation, he told me not to get upset, saying, once you decide to change the system, such problems have to be confronted. When I visited his house next week, Siva Subramanya Iyer's wife took me inside her kitchen and served me food with her own hands. 10th. The Second World War was over and India's freedom was imminent. Indians will build their own country, declared Gandhiji. The whole country was filled with an unprecedented optimism. I asked my father for permission to leave Rameswaram and study at district headquarters in Ramanathapuram. 11. He told me as I was thinking aloud, Abul, I know you have to go away to grow. Does the seagull not fly across the sun alone and without any nest? He quoted Khalil Gibran to my hesitant mother. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life belonging to itself. They come through you but not from you. You may give them your love but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. APJ Abdul Kalam, an extract from Wings of Fire. Next, I'm going to read the poem No Men Are Foreign. Have you ever thought of some people as strange or other countries as foreign? We have many ways of thinking of other people as different from us as them. They may belong to different country or speak a different language. In this poem, however, the poet reminds us of many ways in which we are all the same, for we are all human. Remember, no man are strange, no country is foreign. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. Like covers the land our brothers walk upon, is earth like this in which we all shall lie. They, too aware of sun and air and water, are fed by peaceful harvests, by what's long winter starved. Their hands are ours, and in their lines we read a labor not different from our own. Remember, they have eyes like ours that wake or sleep, and strength that can be won by love. In every land is common life that all can recognize and understand. Let us remember whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it's ourselves that we shall dispose, betray, condemn. Remember, we who take arms against each other. It is human earth that we defile. Our hells of fire and dust outrage the innocence of air that is everywhere our own. Remember, no man are foreign and no country is strange. Poem by James Kirkup. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys.